So as you guys will know, at the start of August I did get a pair of Chinese leopard snakes and put them into quarantine. Well, it's been quite some time since we got them now, and I am okay to say that they are perfectly healthy, and I am happy to move them on into bioactive enclosures. So I've just had arrived 2 new custom sized wooden Vivaria from Reptile Vivarium. Now, over the years, quite a lot of people have asked me how difficult is it to set up a wooden enclosure because they do arrive flat packed, and so whilst I've got the opportunity to, I thought that in today's video I would show you exactly how I set up one of these wooden enclosures from flat pack. Now of course, if you do enjoy this video then leave it a like, do leave me a comment so that I know what you think about it, and subscribe so that you never miss an upload. And talking about that, in a couple of uploads time we should be setting up the inside of these enclosures, so you'll see how I set up a bioactive enclosure for small temperate species of snake like these. But anyway, that's enough talking for now, and let's get into the build process. So the first part of any setting up of a wooden vivarium is just to take the bottom piece and add in metal dowels. You'll see what these are for quite simply later, and all I really do is hold up the back and side pieces. From shining through, it's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through. Before adding any of the side panels or the back panel, it is a good idea to perform any modifications on them that you may have to do. Now, because these Vivaria are going into a rack, it does make cable management slightly awkward, because usually you'd have a notch in the top back of the back piece, and you would pass cables through that by taking the lid of the enclosure off. Now obviously if there's an enclosure on top, this becomes impractical. So what people would usually do is take apart the plugs and pass just the cable through a little drilled hole and then rewire them on the other side. However, this does void electrical warranties, so what I like to do instead is I cut an entire big piece out that's big enough to pass a plug head through, and then put a plywood cap which I paint over the top of this, so that if I want cable access I just take the plywood cap off, pass any plugs to and fro, and then put the plywood cap back on, preventing the snakes from escaping, whilst giving me good cable access. With all modifications done, all you've then got to do is attach the back and side panels to the base via the metal dowels that we put in earlier, and you also want to put in the runners like that the glass is going to sit in at this point too. Now once again, it's easier to make modifications to any of the side panels or the back or whatever whilst they're separate from the main structure, and this is especially true in the case of the roof of the enclosure, where if you started modifying it when it was already in place, you'd have to be angling drills upwards and so on, which is just completely uncomfortable. And so what I do is I actually add all of my electrical appliances like lights and heaters and so on to the roof of the enclosure before I set it into place. Now you'll see me here using a drill quite regularly just to drill tiny little holes, and that isn't actually necessary. They're just called pilot holes, and it makes putting screws in easier, and it does just save you a little bit of time and effort. Once all your electrical things are in place, you are just free to put your lid straight onto the rest of the vivarium, and that is the main build process finished. It's important once you've got your enclosure set up to ensure that you seal it to prevent water getting in at the joints, as this can cause the wood to rot and to expand. Now what I use for this is a combination of pond liner, wooden battens and bonded HA6 marine grade silicone, and this just gives a nice seal and takes away any worry that damp substrate and so on is going to cause the base of the enclosure to rot through. I've actually made more of an in-depth video on what I actually do for this step before, so if you want to see that then do check out the link which will be appearing in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. Once you've done this and you've left the enclosure just like 24 hours for the silicone to cure and so on, you are ready to start setting things up. Now that is where this video is going to end, because I am actually going to be making separate videos all about the insides of the enclosures and adding the snakes and so on. So if you do want to see that, give this video a like, leave me a comment and subscribe so that you don't miss any of those uploads. But that is basically it for setting up wooden enclosures. As you can tell, it really is not that difficult, and if you've had any sort of like worries about getting a wooden enclosure thinking that you couldn't do it, I really would not have any worries at all because it is just so easy. But anyway, that is the end of this video, and if you'd like to see more, then once again check us out in the next video and keep following nature's example. So that's it for this one. Bye guys.